The U.S. State Department has just launched a sweeping new directive that could drastically reshape how foreign nationals obtain visas to study in the United States, beginning with one of its most iconic universities, Harvard. In a cable sent late Thursday and signed by Secretary of State Marco Rubio, U.S. embassies and consulates around the world were instructed to immediately begin expanded vetting of any non-immigrant visa applicant who intends to travel to Harvard for any purpose. This directive, obtained by Politico, marks the beginning of a pilot program that the Trump administration plans to expand nationwide to colleges across the country. What makes this move unprecedented is its scope. Not only does it target prospective and current students, but it also includes faculty, staff, researchers, and even guest speakers. The policy mandates a thorough investigation into the online presence of every applicant, with a specific focus on social media activity. Consular officers are instructed to conduct a complete screening of applicants' digital footprints and refer cases to the Fraud Prevention Unit, which will vet for signs of anti-Semitism or any conduct deemed inconsistent with U.S. visa guidelines. Notably, the cable emphasizes that having a limited or private social media presence may be interpreted as evasive, potentially harming an applicant's credibility. Applicants may be asked to make their accounts public or risk denial of their visa while the investigation continues. This heightened scrutiny stems from the Trump administration's broader campaign against what it sees as the failure of elite universities to combat anti-Semitism on campus, especially in the wake of pro-Palestinian protests following Israel's military operations in Gaza. Although increased vetting has existed before, primarily for returning students suspected of participating in protests, this new policy is broader and more aggressive. It introduces real-time, preemptive digital surveillance before individuals ever set foot on American soil. While the cable specifies anti-Semitism as the vetting focus, it does not define what constitutes an inadmissible viewpoint, leaving it to consular officers to interpret. Critics argue this vagueness opens the door to subjective decisions based on political pressures or ambiguous online behavior. The pilot at Harvard is seen as a prototype, a test run for a wider crackdown that could affect other institutions already in the administration's crosshairs. This directive also follows a broader pattern from the White House, which recently suspended all new student visa appointments as the infrastructure for expanded social media screening is put into place. Just weeks ago, the federal government temporarily blocked Harvard's ability to process international student visas, an action that was reversed only after a federal judge intervened. The administration has also taken legal action against Harvard and cut off billions in research funding in a growing standoff over campus conduct and governance. This crackdown isn't limited to Harvard. The administration is simultaneously targeting other academic groups, particularly Chinese nationals studying in sensitive STEM fields. Secretary Rubio has openly stated that the government will aggressively revoke visas of Chinese students deemed national security risks, a plan that has left even seasoned State Department officials scrambling for clarity on implementation. All of this points to a major realignment of U.S. immigration and education policy, one that places ideological screening and political conformity at the forefront of academic access. As the Harvard pilot begins, the world watches closely to see whether this model will become the new standard across the American education system, transforming student visas from academic opportunities into geopolitical battlegrounds.